Today, we're going to go through three frameworks that you need to become a seven figure brand. This is more of a broad framework that I want to show you guys. That is really the foundation of how you scale from a five figures to a seven figure or even a multi six figure to a seven figure brand. So, here's what's covered in this video. Number one, bit of my story. Number two, do you know this e commerce formula? Number three, do you have a product market fit? Number four, variables for scaling. And number five, we'll be recapping these. A short story about me: I worked as a freelancer living in different countries whilst working remote. Think Bali, Canggu, Chiang Mai. Worked for a few agencies and I fell in love with growing e commerce businesses. And my recent role was working as a head of growth for a D2C brand in Australia. During my career, I realized there are many courses and resources on building a business, like sourcing products, scaling that, etc., but not many on marketing fundamentals. And for me, been growing a lot of businesses before, and I just want to really share the growth marketing strategies that I've been using in the past and now. With T-shaped marketing, this is what I'm building right now, is to document my learnings, my aha moments, and lessons that I could give to my older self 2 years ago. And in this process, provide value to my audience. It'll be through educational content, digital products, and also assist me in terms of growing a portfolio for my career. And my videos will be more of a simple slideshow education pieces rather than animations, sounds, fast-paced video cards just to keep users' retention. But rather, I aim to keep it raw production with value, as much value as possible. Now, there are ups and downs that all small e-commerce brands go through in order to become a seven-figure brand. And I'm not here to show tactics, but rather fundamental frameworks that you need. And one of the principles that I coach with e-commerce advertisers and owners is know your numbers. And this ties into the e-commerce equation formula here. Revenue equals visitors times conversion rate times AOV. So in order for you to grow, so because we want to grow to a seven-figure revenue, you need to leverage. You've got the visitors lever, conversion rate lever, and AOV, and this can be dissected into two parts again, which is pre-click and post-click. So focus on these two, and you'll naturally grow your revenue. And a caveat here is this is when you focus on this equation when you have obtained your product market fit. And once you start growing the visitor side or the conversion rate, AOV, whatever you lack or whatever your brand is strong at, once you focus on these levers, you'll be able to quickly grow into seven figures. Okay, let's start with the basics, the foundation. Um, do you need to ask yourself, do you have a product market fit? A solid product market fit means that your product satisfies a very strong market demand. And this is crucial because it will be the bedrock of your business potential to grow. Um, and again, unless you're a venture backed business, you really should have achieved a product market fit. And that will really establish your unit economics of scale. You probably test your products on Facebook, and you'll probably start to understand if your product has demand by the return on ad spend that you get. Um, Given that you have a solid website, a solid conversion rate, you'll probably know once you have a good ROAS covering your COGS expenses and advertising costs, it's a very good early indicator that you can scale this product. Let's say you have a product A and you're only getting one ROAS, and you have product B that is getting, let's say, uh, 2.5 ROAS, and given that your COGS is around 20 to 25%, you probably have a very high likely chance of scaling product B rather than product A. And this is more of how you determine your product market fit because you're probably using Facebook to grow your business. Now, once you have product market fit, you'll probably move on to highly suggest focusing on crafting your front end office, which is more of a post click variable that you control. So offers like buy one get one free or bundling products can significantly increase your AOV, which is more of the post click, and your conversion rate, which is another post click. So in order to grow, introduce a very good offer product mix to your customers. Um, there is a standard practice for ecom that to offer 10 to 20% off, but consider taking that down in terms of email pop-ups and focus on building a front-end offer where you can really control uh, the discount that you give on certain products to preserve that margin. And again, this doesn't mean that you discount your products, all of your products, but the key is to ensure that these offers align with your brand and makes financial sense. For example, you can see a spreadsheet that I made. Offer B could be a bundle, AOV of 200, and you're including this maybe four pack of products into a bundle, and you can see that your gross margins become 58, and your gross profit volume goes to 117. Whereas if you do, let's say, buy two get one free, which is you can see AOV 100, COGS are 5 and 5, freebie is $4. Even the gross margin is 56, which is very similar to offer B. Your gross profit margin, profit volume is half of offer B. So it doesn't mean that you can't push offer C. It's just more of what CAC do you get by pushing these offers, and whatever more profits that you make, uh, this is what you push on the front end. But probably offer B has more of a higher likelihood of pushing that because it has scalability with those high profit volumes. Let's look at an example here. Let's say I'm selling this pen a retail price of 24, and I want to increase my profit margin and decrease my cost per acquisition. So even though these offers here, offer one and two has a ROAS of 2, you can see that the net profit is higher for offer one. Offer two is technically 50% off, but offer one has a better cut through in the market. So we're getting people to buy two and get one free, and your retail price is 48. But your COGS is 12. Your COGS is higher than offer two. Your gross profit is also higher. Your CPA is also higher, but overall your net profit is larger. So it would make sense for you to push this and use offer two as a supplementary offer to your scaling. So the key here is you should test everything. You should test your offers if it makes financial sense. Another pillar that I want to talk about is conversion rate optimization. It's about making your online stores convert as efficient and effectively as possible. For example, increasing your add to cart rate can increase your conversion rate, revenue per visit. Tweaks like optimizing site speed and simplifying navigation, testing price test can really encourage more add to carts and more purchases. An overall theme here is enhancing the user's experience to build trust and ease the buying process. And primarily for me, when I work with clients, I focus on more of a revenue per page or slash visit. And I primarily focus on these three variables in terms of conversion rate tests. Number one is product images, testing the hero image. Number two, product description. Number three, price. For example, the fountain pen below previous was 24. I would test a 26 as a 26 dollar product, or 28, or even lower, and see what kind of revenue per visit I could get with those price elasticity. Let me show an example. Here is I've been testing a lot of hero images for this t-shirt, and I could see which type of certain image would increase the add to cart rate. Number two, I will test the price elasticity. I can't say that word. I'll test 65, 70, $90 and see what profit margins that we're getting. Even the price changes, but the product is the same. And this here is more of the above the fold benefits and USPs. For example, a customer would land on this page, and in one single mobile page, they'll be able to see uh, these benefits and USPs rather than having to scroll down and see the product description. Now, the third pillar, which is visitors, which is more of a pre-click variable that you can leverage. So when your store and offers are dialed in, it's time to really ramp up your advertising on Facebook. And here are the things that you should think about and know when you scale. So your offers are in place, your conversion rate is in place. There are many debates, ABO, CBO. It's really account dependent. Some accounts perform on CBO, some accounts perform on ABO. For me personally, I have both. They fluctuate on a weekly basis and I adjust accordingly. So it's not a cookie cutter answer. Number two is when you scale, you need to have benchmarks for when you want to scale and kill underperforming ads. So, do you know your cost per acquisition target? Number two, do you know cost per click threshold? Number three, do you know your cost per add to cart? And scaling wise, I'm not too aggressive on it unless it's a sales period. I like to scale 20% every few days, and I just observe how the MER and ROAS and CAC changes. An overall tip here is data over emotions. You need to get enough data for you to judge: does this ad work? Does this campaign work? Um, don't turn off because one day it doesn't do well. It might just have a bad day. For example, this is a spreadsheet that I use. Let's say the client needs a 3 ROAS because of the operation cost. They have an office, retail space, etc. Then I'll exactly know that based on 3 ROAS, they're going to achieve a 20%, 23% profit with their given COGS and gross margins. Then my blended CAC level has to be 34. So uh, just to simplify, if my Facebook campaign is getting me a $50 CPA, that means my ROAS is 2 for the client, which is a bad sign. And I need to go back and change the offers, conversion rate, and do more creative testing to get to more of a $34 CPA. And within that CAC target, for example, let's say this is 3, and I've entered my last 30 to 90 days of the ad account, and I could see my target cost per add to cart that I need to hit. If it's above $4, I need to turn it off. And outbound click wise, if it's above 72 cents, I need to turn it off. To wrap up, each pillar we discussed today, from crafting compelling offers to optimizing your website, they all work together to build your foundation to be ready for a scaling mode. And advertising is simply adding fuel to these components. And I encourage you to assess and apply these strategies to identify where you can make the most impactful changes in your business. Yeah, so focus on the equation that I've discussed: revenue equals visitor times AOV and conversion rate. Make sure you have the foundation in place before you scale. And this is a bit of a ramble and broad framework that I use to scale brands to 7 figures. And if you want the spreadsheet mentioned here, just comment below, and I'll see you on the next video.